Hi everyone. Today I would like to discuss about accounts payable. What is accounts payable? How it will be configured into SAP, and to create the masters of vendors and doing the payments. Like first of all, we have to configure the data into SAP, and we create the master data, and we will do the transaction data. So, what do you mean by accounts payable? An accounts payable is a liability for amount owed to a creditor, means vendor, for the purchase of goods or service. In simple accounts payable, we are liable to do pay for rendering the services goods from vendor. So accounts payable means that we have purchased the goods on credit and we are yet to pay off to the creditors. Accounts payable is a liability short term. How we have to do the configuration in SAP, we will see step by step. Define vendor account group. Okay, what do you mean by vendor account group? Vendor account group controls the vendor account group. We'll see about the vendor account group. We will see step by step configuration in SAP. Before doing that, we have to go for this uh, configuration steps. Yes, you can see here vendor account group controls the fields which appear during the creation of vendor master. It controls the number range. We'll see step by step. First of all, we have to create the vendor account group. How we will be creating the vendor account group? Well, log into SAP, giving the user ID and password. By giving the user ID and password. Again, I want to sign in. Yes, open the SAP screen. This is the end user screen. We can give T codes over here. Now, what I am doing is I am creating the vendor account groups. So, how to create the vendor account groups is like OBD3 is the T code. You can go with the T code OBD3, and I want to close this and slash n OBD3. So, here I want to create one group. For suppose I want to create a group like you can create a group TC31 for suppose vendor account group for my company code. I will write here in description vendor. Just I will save it, and you make sure that whatever the vendor accounts group you should be right in one place so that it will be helpful to you. And after that, creation of a number ranges for vendor account group. What is the use of creation of vendor account groups? Means you have to tell the system that you are creating the number ranges. So what is the T code for creation of vendor number ranges slash n xkn1. Just keep on enter, keep press enter. If you see here, if you want to display, you can display here, click here. These are the number ranges created by some other users. If you want to create for the particular account group, so you can see here these are the number ranges which are available in the system. So if you observe here, you can create a new number ranges by clicking plus insert line. but you should be make sure that it won't be overlap, means like users have already created 01, 02, 03, likewise they have created. You have to see availability numbers and number ranges you have to give. It should not be overlap with the users. So for our convenience, what we will do is like wherever the availability numbers are there, we will see there and we will be assigning it. For suppose if you go for 01, we started from 112 to 999. Out of that 1156 is consumed, so we can use this. So many availability numbers are there between this, so I will be using 01. And what we will do is like I want to assign in the next step. How we will assign, we'll see once. OBAS is the T code. You can go with the T code OBAS slash N OBAS. If you see here, my vendor account group TC31 created earlier, just tick mark here and make sure that 01, I have seen that 01 there is availability, so that I am using the 01 and I am assigning to my vendor account group that it should start from 01. So whenever the account vendor will be created, the number will be generated from this number range. So you can save it by transport request. This the step is done, and after that what you have to do is like tolerance group for vendors, means in this step we assign the number ranges to vendor account groups. OBA3 is the T code. New entries. Here you will give your company code TC31. For TC30 you are creating TC30, and you will mention here that Tata Chemicals tolerance group. Here you specify some gain 5%. Simply you can give 5% and just save it. Just telling somewhat. Again you have to sign in. Yes, slash n. The T code is like you have to give the tolerance group. What is the T code? Like if you go with this OBA3 slash n OBA3 new entries TC30 Tata Chemical Tata is I'm giving 5% here, so you can save it. An entry already exists with the same key, means I will already is having, so we can go for that. And if you see here, creation of reconciliation account. What do you mean by reconciliation account? Reconciliation account is a GL account which is created and assigned to the vendor master while vendor master creation. For suppose if the client is having 100 vendors, means like you can go with the individually, you can see individually what's the available balance for the vendor. So in order to avoid that, if you create one reconciliation account, means accounts payable, it's come if you will create one GL account linked to the particular vendors. So if you go with the reconciliation account commonly ledger, and if you see which is linked with all the vendors, then you in one shot you will be having or what is the outstanding amount payable or liable to pay for vendors, you can see. So we will be creating one reconciliation account and we will be linking with the vendor master. How to create the reconciliation account, I will show you. Slash n fs00. You'll create under which group? Liability like this. So you can go with the liability, and if you see here accounts payable I have created, I'm showing you this is the accounts payable reconciliation account. Liabilities comes under group, and liabilities accounts group, and it comes under the balance sheet item accounts payable account reconciliation account. Go to the control data, and you can see here local code company code currency is INR, and it's a reconciliation account I have taken for vendor. And if you go and see here the create bank interest, this is the G067 for field status group. Field status group is nothing but it controls the fields which appears during the transaction posting. So this is the reconciliation account I have created. Likewise you can create, and what you will do is you after creation this, just go to the vendor master which is available, like slash n xk02 is to change, like for TC30 I have created one vendor. So what we have to do is before that we have to create one vendor. xk01 is to create, xk02 is to change, edit, xk03 is to display the vendors. So what we will do is we will go for the new one. Account group I have created TC31 and I press enter. Yes, this is the way to create the vendor. For suppose I am creating JJ Enterprises Limited, and you can give the details over here. Title I will give company, and street 156, street number, and city I will give as mm, Hyderabad. Country IN. I am giving the mandate fields over here. You can give your own fields. If you, or whatever the necessary, what are the fields are there, you can give mandate fields. I am filling here for 01 region. This postal code I will give 530098 for example, and make sure that language is EN. And what you have to do is just go with the next step. And here if you have to specify post box number, PO box code, and I will give 1 2 3 4 5 6. We'll see what will happen, and it will go to this. Just skip this screen, go to next button. What are the necessary fields we will fill here? Go to next button and go to the next button. And here if you observe here, whatever the reconciliation account you have created as a GL account, you just link with this vendor. So 2001, and if you go here and put, see the drop down, you will be having options like we'll go for, it is a domestic vendor I'm taking. So go to the next button. Payment terms, which payment terms you are using. I'm using 0001 as a default predefined by the SAP payment payable immediately due net, and go to the next button. Yes, next button, and you can save it. If you observe here, vendor 1157 was generated in the company code TC30. If you observe here, we have taken as 01 as a reference as a number range and assigned to the company code slash n xkn1 GUS. You can see there, you can display here 01 I have taken, no? From this it was taken as a vendor. So what we have done is we have created the vendor, and what you have to do is we will be posting on invoice whether it's working or not. If you see here, make sure the TC30 invoice date is nothing but today's date we can take it, or document date we can call is amount I'm taking 30,000. GL rent is debiting, for same debit is always equal to credit. Text you have to fill here, being invoice book for the rent, and text you have to fill over here same. Is an invoice is this text is nothing but a narration you can give. Just keep on enter. Yes, specify account number for which vendor you are creating. You have to make sure that just put a tick mark, and this is the vendor JJ Enterprise I'm doing, and you make sure that just document simulate. Yes, you want to simulate it again. Yes, this is the entry, you are debiting the rent and crediting the JJ Enterprises. This is the a vendor number, this is the GL account number, rent account, this is the posting key 40 for GL account, 31 is for the vendor. Line item 1, line item 2, this is the document header. Document header consisting of company code, for which company code you are doing, financially 2024, document date is to 17/11/2024, posting date is 17/11/2024, period is 8 as per the non-calendar year, financial 2024 year as per Indian books, account books. So April to March, April considered as the first month. This is the month like November. We calculate as a eighth, system will take as a eighth month or period, for as per the non-calendar year. So this is the entry. You can save it. Slash n. Yeah, BL1N is to see the vendor report. You can go for this and you can execute it. This is the amount which is available, like it is, we are liable to do the payment for the JJ Enterprises. So we will do the payment accordingly. Slash n f dash 53 to do the payment. And today's date I am posting the payment in our system. And this is a document type KZ is a vendor payment, and company code, period, and bank account number 1000, GL account number, how much you are paying, 30,000. Text is like you have to give the text here for which account you are paying, JJ Enterprises. So it should be debited JJ Enterprises and bank should be created. Why? Because the amount is gone through the bank, no, so will be created. So if you observe here, this is the JJ Enterprises, and process open item should be like for 30,000 we are paying 30,000. The not assigned is should be 0, so we just simulate it. Yes, this is the document entry, this is the header text, and this is the line item 1, line item 2. JJ Enterprises part is debit and bank is credit, because we have done the payment to the JJ Enterprise, it is debiting, and through bank it's going, no, it's credit. Posting key is for GL account HDFC Bank is 50, and posting key for vendor uh, payment 25 is the debit. So this is about the entry. You can see the report by a BL1N and you can execute. There won't be any item, no item selected. If you want to see the cleared items, you can execute it. Then you will be seeing that one invoice and one payment 30,000 30,000, it should be 0. So this is about the creation of vendor, configuration of vendor, and vendor account groups, number ranges, assigning number ranges to vendor, and we are done with this vendor invoice posting, and we have done the payment. This is about the vendor.